Here we see the Fokker F-27 coming into land at Bintulu Airport. What you'll see for the next hour or so is a collection of some of the pictures from around Bintulu, Sibao, Kuching, and towns in and around the area that we've lived in for the past 2 years. This is a pretty dramatic shot as you see the airport, but in fact this airport has its runway the closest to any main street in the world. You land right in the middle of Bintulu. And the first thing that you'll see as we come into Bintulu is in fact the Dalzells arriving back from their Christmas holiday in the UK. Welcome to Bintulu. Selamat datang ke Bintulu. At this point, Daddy has just realised that Sneed Adams, who made this picture, has acquired a new movie camera for Christmas and is trying it out, totally unaware, in fact, that we were arriving back from the UK. Mummy and Andrew, and Mummy followed by Andrew. Mum's also realised the same thing, that Sneed is out there shooting. You've got to realise that we probably look a bit haggard at this stage. We've been flying for some 36 hours of just a brief stopover in Singapore. And Andrew wasn't at all keen to leave the aeroplane, since he thinks aeroplanes are the best things that have ever been invented. Now we're now driving along, in fact, into the estate in which we live. This is the main road out to the plant, and we turn off left here and go down to the street which leads to the houses where we live in. On the right hand side you'll see the beginning of the ASEAN Bintulu fertiliser houses and some of the MLNG junior staff housing. And as we turn the corner, you'll start to see the main complex for the MLNG houses. As you can see, this estate is still in the state of being developed. The trees are now pretty much taking root, but will still grow quite a lot. Now the building in front of you is the family clinic. This is where our medical needs are catered to, and this is the main street through what we call the S1, that's the senior staff housing area. And the houses both on the right and the left are very similar to the ones that we live in. Just going to take a slight pause here as we go over the sleeping policeman. And in fact turn into the Narayan's house. Narayan is an Indian mechanical engineer whose daughter, Shweta, was very close friends with Mary Lisa. And that car at the top there has been crashed more times than I've had hot dinners. Now this is typical of a house. In fact, it's exactly the same as the house that we live in. The garden's probably slightly better put together than ours, however. You can see the carport. Up above that is the children's bedroom. Then to the left of that central tower is the master bedroom. So you see all these senior staff houses are exactly the same. About a quarter of an acre of ground with each one. And this is looking down the main street. This is the ASEAN Bintulu fertiliser housing, which is still under construction. That was due to be completed sometime towards the end of '85, although it's anybody's guess whether it will be. But as you can see, this housing estate will have to house some 490 staff who are going to be employed by the sister company, in fact, to Malaysian LNG. And now we're going down to the Kedurong Club, which has become our second home over the last 2 years. It has a pool and squash courts and badminton courts and a restaurant, a bar, and is pretty much the centre of the social life for the MLNG community. As you can see, well laid out, good manicured gardens. It contains also the MLNG guest house where visiting potentates from various states and companies spend a few nights in Bintulu and get the impression that it's paradise on earth. and that's the central part of the guest house, in fact. Each of the small rooms is self-contained. It has a bathroom and shower, and there is also one suite for very senior people, but that's not used too often. And then swinging on round, you come to the main kitchens for the restaurant, and then the administration and indoor recreation area. It has a snooker table, card tables. It also has a television viewing room. And this is looking at the restaurant from the other side. The sea is now on our left-hand side. You're looking across now at the main indoor recreation area, and of course in front of you the pool. To give you an idea of scale, that pool is about 35 yards long. Moving across in the background, you see the pump house, changing area, and then finally in front there you can see the outdoor snack bar, the poolside bar. And there you can get a variety of European and Asian dishes, all of them massacred. And then that's the central part of the snack bar. Behind that there are 2 tennis courts which are both floodlit, and as we move on across now, this is the school that Mary Lisa attended for her 2 years in Bintulu. It's called the OSA school. OSA stands for Operating Service Agreement, and it's the agreement that the Shell staff are seconded to Malaysian LNG under. Basically the classrooms are down the right hand side building, and then the main assembly hall and head teacher's office are on the left.